Hello, everyone. Hello, good evening. How are you all doing? I'm so glad to be here this evening. I'm so happy, so glad that you guys will join me. While we are waiting for others, can you just drop in the chat box? Just drop it in the chat box. Your name and where you are from. Okay, I think there must have been an echo there. So while we're waiting for others, can you just drop your name and where you're coming from in the chat box so that I can get to know everyone, although I can see your name in your description, but I think I would like you to also do that. As you all know, I'm Temidayo Salako, and I know I didn't put out much about myself, and I have people on this call that probably doesn't know me, personally. So I'm going to actually introduce myself. Thank you, Dorcas. You're welcome. So thank you, Wahab Michael. Wow, you're a copper. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm Temidayo Salako, as I said, and I'm a project manager, an IT project manager, as well as an operations analyst at Innovate Lab in Oyo State, Nigeria. And I've been working as an IT project manager for about 4 years. And within this period, I've learned a whole lot. I've been able to deal with several people, including core tech guys. So I work basically with developers, designers, and the likes to be able to build tech products. So, but I usually don't see myself as a core tech person. I really hope everybody can hear me. So I would like feedbacks as well. If you can hear me, just let me know. Just let me know if you can hear me. I'll be glad to have that feedback. And if you can turn on your video too, fine, go ahead. If it won't affect your network. Okay, I think you can hear me. But please mute yourself. Kindly mute yourself because we don't want any interference so as to not disturb everyone else. So as I was saying, I've been working as an IT project manager for about 4 years, and I've been working longer as an operations analyst. And within this period, I've worked with developers, I've worked with designers directly. And as a project manager, I see myself as a leader of the team because I have to sort of give direction, ensure that whatever software we are building is well aligned to what the client wants and all of that. But I don't want to go into details about my job or what I do. The reason why we are here is for us to talk about how you can discover exactly what you're meant to do, especially in the tech industry. So the reason why I put together this program is because I've attended several events since the beginning of the year, and one thing that is constant again and again is me hearing people say they want to learn a tech skill, but they are not sure, or they've learned something, but they are not sure if they want to like pursue it, or it's too difficult, you know, or not being motivated generally, you know, to participate in any of this tech thing. And yet everybody wants to be a tech bro, tech sis, you know, everybody wants to, you know, go into tech and all of that. But the issue is always, which part of tech am I going to do? And is it only programming that is in tech? Some of those things are the questions that people ask. And I want to answer some of them today. I've also brought and invited my colleagues, my friends, to speak with you guys tomorrow as well. They are core tech people, both of them are developers, and the other person is both a developer and a designer, and they are very successful in what they do. So they are going to, you know, talk a lot about how they've been able to forge their career in tech, and how they selected their path, and how they are making cool cash. I know you guys love the money. I mean, from the feedback I got, you guys sent me questions about how do you make money and all of that. Don't worry, I won't even talk about that so much today. I'll wait for them to talk about it tomorrow, because I can assure you both of them are making, you know, they are doing very well financially, and it's all through tech. But what do I want to talk to you about today? I want to talk to you about how you can discover that part in tech, right? So I will start out, because I don't want to exceed an hour, and I also want to answer some of the questions you guys asked through the form. I want to answer some of those questions, because while part of it to be answered tomorrow, because I feel like some of them are quite crucial, and it's something that we should actually discuss. I would allow other people to join up. I hope other people are streaming on YouTube as well, but I don't want to waste any time. That's why we are starting right up, right? I'm glad you guys could join me anyway. So how did I find my path in tech, or how did I discover purpose in tech? One thing I want to tell you, first of all, is no matter what industry you are working in, no matter whatever career path you are pursuing, there will always be challenges, right? I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, which one is the easiest thing to do? Because I think I even saw a similar question on the form you filled, and people were asking, which one person asked, like, this part is too difficult. Like, what other part can I do that is easier? I think the question you should really be asking is, which one am I really interested in? Because I tell you, if you are unable to find a deeper meaning to what you are meant to do, or to what you are doing, when the going gets tough, you would find out that you really don't have the substance, the internal strength to stand, right? So people say life is not easy. Yeah, life is actually easy. Life is easy. Let me break it to you. Life is easy if you are on the right path. And if you're on the right path, you have the motivation that you need to actually move. Because no matter what you want to do in life, it's going to actually come up with, it's going to present you with several challenges and several obstacles. But you know the most interesting thing? I love challenges because it's what makes everything really, really interesting. It makes life really, really, I don't know, engaging. Like, you are able to connect with what you're doing when you are faced with problems that you have to solve. And when you solve those problems, you are like, wow, like it just gives you that high. Like, when you're solving problems, you keep getting that high, you keep getting motivated, you keep feeling that inner drive to just keep going at it. See, so challenges are not things to run away from. So if you are already on the tech part and you feel like, I'm going to talk about some of my own challenges, because as a project manager, I face a whole lot of challenges. But why am I still in that part till today? And one interesting thing, let me tell you, I'm currently working on my project management professional certification. This is an international certification by Project Management Institute in the USA. And I'm practically trying to become a professional in that line. Like, I'm trying to get certified by the most globally recognized body. Yet I've been working as a project manager for 4 years. And in actual fact, if you are going to get a certification, you must have been working for a minimum of 3 years. So I had to wait to be able to apply or write this examination. So why am I still on this path, irrespective and despite the challenges? It's because I'm able to find a deeper meaning. I'm able to find a sense of purpose. I'm able to connect where I am right now to where I hope to be in the future. I'm able to connect project management to who I am inherently. So what I do is that I work with developers and designers to build softwares and websites and the likes. And not only that, I also work as an operations analyst. So I deal with people, I deal with resources and all of that every single day. And the most interesting thing is that I love people. Like, I love to work with people. I love to deal with people. But people are one of the most difficult kinds of resources to manage, right? Project management is all about managing people. It's not just about managing projects. In fact, it's not really about managing projects, because it is people who build projects or who do projects. So the one thing I find interesting about project management is the one thing I find the most challenging. I don't know whether any of you have been class captains or class reps, as students, or you led, a group of people before. I know you can testify to what I'm saying, that people could be one of the most difficult resources to manage, to get people to do what they are meant to do, to bring them on board a particular vision, to teach them exactly what they are supposed to achieve and all of that. Thank you, Wahab, for the love you're sharing. So to be able to get people on board to a particular vision, to a particular goal, and drive them to that point where everybody is focused on the same goal and everybody is working towards the same goal, could be one of the most difficult things. Yes, you could even get them to, be excited about the goal. But when it comes to doing the work, when it comes to opinions, everybody having different opinions and different thoughts, and everybody saying, no, this is the way it should be done. No, this is where I think. So there's conflict and all of that. But I'm not teaching you project management, right? I'm just trying to emphasize a particular point. And that point is that there will always be challenges no matter the path you pick. And why will you stay in challenging times? You will stay because you've been able to find a deeper meaning. Now, why am I still in project management? Why am I managing groups of people who build softwares? The reason I'm doing that is because I believe that I was created to build systems within organizations and within nations. Systems that are sustainable, systems that will bring economic prosperity, systems that will help to empower the human resource of a particular organization or a particular nation. So that is what I see myself as. That is who I see myself as. So when I face challenges, I remember that, Dayo, you were made to actually build systems within organizations and within nations, not just to build systems, but to build sustainable systems that will bring about economic prosperity and the thriving and empowerment of the human resource in those organizations and in nations. So if I'm gunning for nations, when challenges come at the level of organization, I'm like, no, I'm not going to give up. No, I have to learn. So that's when I go on Google, I read about it. In fact, Google needs to be your friend. If you're going to go into tech, I'm sure my friends will tell you tomorrow, the other speakers, they will tell you tomorrow that Google needs to be your friend. Even if you're a developer, my developer friends tell me all the time, Google is where they go to when they are faced with a bug or something like that. They go to Google and Google it. You would also need to utilize the help of mentors, the help of coaches, people who have gone ahead of you. But at the same time, you must be very, very passionate about gaining knowledge about wherever you select or whatever you pick to do. So you must be ready to learn. So you can't, there's no easy way, right? There's no easy way out. But what you can do for yourself, yes, thank you, Google needs to be your friend. Oh, someone says Google is more than a friend. Yes, Google be your helper at that point, at some point. So, but whatever you do, just know that there might be challenges, but you can utilize the resources around you to be able to still make a headway, to be able to be successful at whatever you're doing. So how do you discover purpose? How do you discover your career path? Let me tell you how. Number one, understand your background. See, let me tell you, some of us are looking for ways to run away from home, to run away from the past. I know some of us have had to deal with some childhood trauma, challenges from home, financial. Some of us may have even gone through abuse, different things that could have messed up your childhood, that could have messed up your memories of the past, your background and everything. But let me tell you something. The reason why you are made is so that you can fulfill a particular purpose, right? Right? If you accept that. Just hold that thought. You were made to achieve a particular purpose. And when you were made, you were born into a certain kind of environment, right? And the reason you were born into that kind of environment is tied to that purpose. I'm sorry for those who are born in Nigeria and you are like, man, why was I not born in America? Like where things are better, and all of that. Don't think that way. You were born in Nigeria for a reason, and it's very strongly attached to the purpose you are meant to fulfill. So the earlier you are able to accept your background and your environment, the easier it will be for you to select and to pick the things you are meant to pick from those experiences, from your past experiences, and utilize it to become a successful person in life. So, in fact, none of your past experiences were supposed to be a waste, or were supposed to be things that would just, make you a non-entity, or someone that will keep hustling. I really hope people who join this call are not hustlers. Like, we don't hustle, right? We don't hustle at all, but we work hard, but we also work smart, right? So people would work smart to have smart results and be successful, are people who are able to recognize that every single experience that they've gone through, both in the past and the present, is so that they can pick lessons in order to become that person that will be successful in whatever career path that they select, right? I'm someone who, my background, I came from a wonderful family and all of that, and I'm not even the first child, but I know that I have a leadership complex. Why? Right from my secondary school, primary school, I've always been the leader in the class, the one selected to be a class captain. Now it might seem as if, that's really irrelevant. But I tell you, those are the pointers. Those are some of the little things. Are you someone that people always come to help solve problems? Or are you someone that people come to when they have challenges and tell you to counsel them or to give them advice? Or are you someone that you are very good with your hands from when you were very small? Like you could draw, you used to, work with gadgets at home, dismantle everything and put it back together. All of those little bits and pieces of your childhood experiences. Are you someone that, in fact, your parents didn't have enough money and you had to think of ways to put together your own school fees? Those things are not a waste, and they are not meant to tell you that, you are not going to be successful in life. In fact, you have this limit. Actually, there is no limit. You are the only one who can create limits for yourself. That just accept that whatever limit I see was created by me. So if you are going to live boundlessly, if you are going to be as successful as your mind can actually imagine, then you have to ensure that you have no limits. You have to ensure that you do not put a limit to how far you can go in life, because those limits usually come as a result of where we think we are coming from. We put limits, we put a cap on how far we can go because we are so hung up on where we are coming from. But I want you today to begin to see where you are coming from as an advantage, right? No matter how disadvantaged it looks, I know everybody has a lot of things that they've gone through in the past. But the earlier you are able to pick the good things out of those experiences and examine them well enough and see how they are able to help you define who you are meant to be, the better. From the past, I said I was usually, in the leadership position. And let me tell you, I hated it. Some people might feel like I want to be the class captain. I hated it. But how come I'm still finding myself in leadership position up until today? I can give you like a trend, of always being in leadership positions, always being selected for something, to lead something. And I was always doing it afraid. One day I was practically laughed at. Can you believe that? Let me quickly tell you the story. We were told, I think we were in SS2 or so, we were told that we're going to hold a debate competition with SS1. And nobody in my class prepared. As seniors now, everybody was in Shakara. And suddenly, he said suddenly, I think somebody else was the class captain or something like that. And on the day of that debate, they selected me. And I had to come out and I could not say anything. And, did they really laugh? I'm not sure. I think they were nice enough not to laugh at me, but I moved out of the class and I went to shed tears. And I've not forgotten that experience till today. But now I can stand in front of you and talk, right? And I can stand in front of thousands of people. Like, At least I've stood in front of hundreds of, I've stood in front of thousands of people to talk. Because when I was serving, when I went to NYSC camp, I actually came out on, for those who are coppers, I came out during morning meditation to read, there's this speech we give. I did it twice, and those were thousands of people. Now, this was me a few years back, who went out of just a few students, like maybe like less than 50 students. And I went to cry because I could not talk. And this was me years later, speaking in front of thousands of coppers, reading a speech that I wrote myself anyway, and all of that. And I actually got an handshake from the state coordinator back then. So cool, right? So what I'm driving at is that no experience from your past is useless. And actually, you should concentrate on them and pick them out and use them to define your path for the future, right? So I want you to begin to do some reflections, because for you to actually be able to identify your purpose and all of that, you have to have the power of reflection. You have to have the power of reflection. You must be able to think back, go to the past, and look at yourself in the present as well. You must be very self-aware. You must be aware of what do people say about you. I mean, the good things. People could say negative things about you. Yeah, it could be true sometimes. Maybe you have some faults that you need to adjust. Yes. But you also need to examine the good things people say about you. Don't be modest and be like, I'm not like that, Jare, leave me alone. If you are too modest, you won't really enter. You won't be able to enter into that place you're meant to enter into. And then when opportunities come up, because you've not embodied that person, that great person that people even describe, you'll be able to take up the opportunities. And even when it comes to pursuing a career in tech, maybe you are now going through a particular tech training, maybe software development or AI or robotics and all of that, you'll be unable to have that level of confidence to believe within your mind that you can do it, right? So it's not even about, let me tell you, the easiest part is knowing which one of these tech skills to learn. That's the easiest part. And the funny thing is that you can learn the best tech skills and not be successful at it. Why? You can learn the best tech skills and feel bored every single day, or feel like you are just wasting your life, or feel like you are not doing something important. Why? Because you are unable to connect with something deeper. And you can learn all these tech skills and not be making money. Let me tell you that too. It's not about or if I just learn this tech skill, I'll make money. Definitely. Yes, you can make money, but it's possible that you may not make money. But I don't want to talk too much about money today. I want my guests to talk about it more tomorrow. So what I'm trying to say is that understand your background, but to understand your interest. What is that thing that you are really, really interested in? What is that thing that you are really, really interested in? See, everybody knows exactly what they're interested in. Our problem, let me tell you the problem. Your problem is that you are probably thinking that thing is not popular, or that thing is not in trend, or your friends are not pursuing that thing, or you've not been able to capture that thing within the context of a career that is common. Your interest could be a simple characteristic. For example, I will keep using myself as an example today, because I'm basically sharing my own experience to draw out some principles, as I told you guys earlier. So, for example, I know that I have an interest in people, but I tell you, I'm not an expert in people. Let me tell you, I'm still learning a lot about emotional intelligence. I've been studying a lot in the past few weeks, and I realized I had a lot to learn. In fact, I had to read research papers and all of that, but that's just aside. But I realized that I needed to learn, but I have the interest, but I don't have the expertise. So you see, you may also feel like, I have this interest, but I don't know how to do it. That doesn't mean that it's not what you're meant to do. That's not the validation. If you have an interest in something, that's like a plus, because it means that you can learn it and you can do it. See, for me, even though I know I'm not yet a people expert, but I tell myself, you can do it, you can learn it. And I get feedback sometimes. I get good feedbacks and I get negative feedbacks. And when I get the negative feedbacks, criticisms, I think about it and say, okay, what can I do to change? So your interest does not necessarily mean that you're an expert at that thing. So my interest in your people. So how did I translate my desire and my interest in people? How did I translate into a particular niche in the tech industry? It's because I was able to understand that there are several things that I could do in tech. I could easily have gone into software development. Why? Because I also know I'm an analytical person. So that's why I say you must understand yourself. I'm an analytical person. I could easily have gone into software development. I could easily have gone in because I also love mathematics. So if that's the case, I could easily have gone into data analytics or data science and all of that. So why did I choose management? Why did I choose project management? It's because I saw myself as someone who prefers to deal with people directly and to help them achieve their vision or their purpose. And that's why I put together this program. And you'll be wondering, how does speaking in a program relate to a career and a tech skill? It's because me, Temida Yosalaka, I'm still the same person, but I have different expression of who I am. So I have an expression of who I am right here, talking to you about this. And I have that same expression in my workplace as a project manager. And I have that same expression when I write a book. And by the way, I'm actually writing a book. I'm done with the book anyway, and it's been launched in August. It's a book on how to discover your purpose. It talks about all of these things so exhaustively. So, but you're going to get it in August. So, but that's aside. So I'm able to understand myself inherently. I understand my interests. I know that I love to interact with people. Let me tell you, people have hurt me a lot in the past. But why am I still drawn to people? Why am I still like, no, I have to work with people? It's because it's just something I've discovered as a part of me. It's something that not only have I discovered the true trends of what has happened in the past, God has also revealed it to me. And it's also always in my consciousness that people can actually do a lot if only they are given the right kinds of resources. Like people can achieve a lot if they are given the right kind of resources, the right kind of attention, the right kind, they are put in the right kind of environment. So, and that's what I want to do. And I do that with my team when we build solutions. I do that with my team, as an operations lead and all of that. And I do that, and I'm doing that right here, right now, as I'm talking to you, right? Because I believe and I have so much passion and zeal and interest in people. So your home might be, you just want to make good gadgets, like you just want to make gadgets that really work. Like you are tired of phones that will not last more than 1 year or 2 years. You are tired of apps that do not function very well. You are tired of people not being able to achieve what they want to achieve because they did not get tools that were made to perfection or that was built with excellence. You might begin to think of software development. You might begin to think of robotics. You might begin to think of how you can go into engineering and all of that. Or you may be somebody that you just love numbers. You love the magic that numbers can do. Like the magic that just putting together a lot of numbers can show us exactly where we are coming from and where we are going to. You can go into data analytics, right? Using numbers to make sense or to predict the future or to do some forecasting or to be able to learn about what's happening in the society, and you are cool with it, then please go ahead and do that. So they are saying, or you have someone that you just love a good experience, like you love things to be easy, like you don't like people to struggle, like you like seeing struggle all around you, and you want to interpret that into tech, please go into experience design. So there are several things. What you have to do is to be able to take that thing that you're interested in and connect it to something you may be able to see. And that's why you should attend webinars like this, so that you'll be able to understand the different opportunities. I'm actually going to do this on a monthly basis till August. So I'll bring different people in the tech industry who are not too old, like who are just not too far from our ages here. And then who will talk about how they are doing. So it's not be like, oh, these people have been there for years, that's why they are very successful. No. It's just a matter of diligence and being able to identify exactly where you fit in. So I've made examples of how you can. You're someone that maybe you like to talk to people, you like to convince people to do something, like you just like to interact with people and get them on board on an idea. You can be a digital marketer. Maybe you're very social, you like taking pictures. Your love for taking pictures doesn't have to be a waste. For those who like taking selfies, who like making videos, it doesn't have to be a waste at all. You could actually go into social media marketing or digital marketing or branding. Branding is beyond just designing, right? I also work with brand designers and I work with digital. I work with a lot of people in tech who do tech for business. I work with everyone. And branding, you could be a brand experience designer.
where you are able to brand businesses so that they can make more money. It's also a part, brand is also a part of marketing, right? So I hope to bring people in all of these lines, over the next few months, so that you can get to know about how this thing really works in the industry out there. So you see, all of those, your interests, the things that you just like doing, that you do without stress, all of those things actually can be connected to a particular niche or a particular part. One thing I want to say is that I think somebody asked that question, and this is an opportunity to answer that question. You don't have to pick only just one career or one job, one kind of job. Career is actually a set of interests that you have, right? Career is not a job. You see, you find that in my book, very, I explained it so well. Career is not a job. It's a set of interests that defines the kind of job you do, or the kind of job you accept, or the kind of job you learn about, or you get trained in. So so you see that your interests actually matter. Being able to identify your interests over time. So don't just pick something you are interested in today, because we humans could be very, sometimes we could actually be very impulsive. If you're an impulsive person, you might find that you're interested in this one today, tomorrow you're not more interested, next tomorrow you're interested in that one, and then on and on and on like that. So one caveat is you have to be able to measure your interest in that particular area over a period of time. You have to be able to consistently have seen that, oh, I was actually interested in this thing, over this period of time, and it was consistent. You were able to you found yourself gravitating towards people in that area. You found yourself gravitating towards materials online. The people you even follow on social media, people in that line. If you are someone that you like making, I don't know, making videos or inspiring people or something like that, you could go into animation, right? There's almost nothing that is of interest to you that you can't find in tech, as long as you have interest in tech in general. You could go into animation, you go into motion pictures creation, like video creation, and all of those things. You want to inspire people, by videos and by stuff like that. In fact, that you've spent a lot of time watching shorts on YouTube, watching reels and all of that, you probably learned a lot, actually. Do you know that you've learned a lot just by looking at those things? So if you just direct all of those knowledge that you've gained into that particular career path that you've identified, you'll be a genius, because you'll be unique. And that brings me to one thing. Never compare yourself to somebody else. See, when I started out, I started working when I was in 400 level. I started working where I'm currently working, Innovate Lab. And from there, I've been able to grow exponentially. But before I started, a friend of mine was already on my very good friend, we are still friends till today. She was already on the path of digital marketing. Now, I could easily have followed her and be like, you're already doing digital marketing. Me, I don't even know exactly, because at that time, really, I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to do. So I could have followed and said, please, how can I also be a digital marketer? But I was self-aware enough at that time to know and understand that I didn't have interest in digital marketing. Yes, I like convincing people. I later discovered that I like negotiation. But I tell you, negotiation is one of the key skills that a project manager must have. So it means that you might have several natural skills and several natural abilities. It doesn't mean that you can just go into any one of them, any one of these career paths. You have to be sure that this is a path where you have the highest level of interest in. So, but I knew that I didn't want to focus on marketing. I'm not even really much of a social media person. If you see my YouTube, I just opened this particular YouTube channel and you guys should probably just subscribe, because I hope to make more videos, short videos particularly. So I'm glad I'm using this opportunity to answer some of the questions I was going to answer. So I didn't follow my friend into digital marketing. If I had, I may not have gotten the opportunity that I later got that same year to work with Innovate Lab as a chief operations officer, and later now discover my part in IT project management, because I always say IT project management because I prefer to manage projects that are software based. So one of my goals, one of my vision I have for myself is to work with tech-driven organizations as a consultant, as a software and IT consultant. Why? I not only have knowledge in IT, or in building products and all of that. I'm also a business strategist. So I've worked in Innovate Lab as a business strategist as well. So all of those building ideas from scratch, like Innovate Lab is an innovation of. I'm talking a lot about where I work because Innovate Lab has made a huge impact, for me. You guys can check them out, www.innovatelab.com. I've worked with businesses through Innovate Lab. I've built ideas from scratch through Innovate Lab. I mean ideas from scratch. I've worked with teams and we built a mobile application through where I work. So, but imagine if I had followed my friend then, to learn digital marketing, I'll probably have been working somewhere else as a digital marketer, and I would have been unsatisfied. I wouldn't have been making any money because I won't be able to do a good job because I didn't have the interest. I love negotiation. I love dealing with people, but mine is more tended towards let's achieve a particular goal. Let's achieve a particular vision that we define. Let's create a plan. And that's what the project manager does. Create a plan that leads us to a particular goal or vision. And I prefer to do it in the context of software products or software projects. So you see how comparing yourself could make you lose out on opportunities that belong to you. Because you've compared yourself to a friend who is pursuing another path in tech, you lose out on opportunities that belong to you if you had only gone the other way. While sometimes following a friend or going together with a friend could be advantageous, you may be lucky enough. That that's also your own path. So that's like you are stumbling upon the path. You are not intentional. But I advise you that to be intentional so that the journey will not be longer. When you're intentional, you are sure, and that leads me to my next point, you are able to have a vision of who you see yourself to be in a few years' time. See, I know some people say it's difficult to have a vision of who you are meant to be in like 10 years, 50 years, but I do. One day, I will, let me tell you guys this gist. One day I was just thinking, I was just in my room there, and I was just thinking, wait, where do I see myself in the next 25 years? Because I have role models, right? People like Ibuka Oshika. She's not into tech, but she's my role model because I'm not just going to stay in tech. One of the visions I have for my life is to actually be a leader within an organization and over nations. No, I don't want to be the president, but I want to be key to the presidency of any country. I want to be a key resource to the presidency of any country and even to the world at large. So I won't go into details, but I'm just trying to show you guys glimpses of how you should be seeing yourself, of the dreams you should begin to have for yourself. And how you know that you can accomplish these dreams is by what you can do now, by decisions you can make now, by being able to identify a particular path and sticking to it. Because I tell you, every day could be difficult. I remember, somebody also put a question. I'm so glad I'm answering these questions as I go because I don't want to exceed an hour. Somebody asked a question that, do you ever get burnt out? Man, let me tell you something. I got burnt out like 2 weeks ago. And I could not do anything because I was overworking. But I needed to overwork. It could seem as if it's a bad thing, but I tell you, sometimes it could be a good thing because sometimes you may only need to stretch beyond your current level. Sometimes, as you grow, you get more responsibilities, and the fact that you are getting responsibility does not mean that you'll be able to undo the responsibilities. It only means that if you were here before, for example, if you are here before, you need to come out to here to be able to handle those responsibilities. And it may have effects on your body. It may have effects on your mind as well. So you need to stretch both your body and mind. I remember I'm a Christian, so I'll be mentioning God, intermittently because I have a very, I love my relationship with God and I enjoy it a lot. And most of the decisions that I make come from inspiration. So the Lord told me, stick with exercising. At the beginning of this year, like be consistent. I've always loved fitness. That's another thing. I remember somebody also put in the question that they studied chemistry and would have loved to work in a pharmaceutical company, but they want to go into tech and they tried doing data science, but it was too difficult. So how do they find a course that has to do with chemistry or pharmaceutical company that is relevant to pharmaceutical companies, like a tech career that is relevant to pharmaceutical companies? I tell you, I graduated as a physiologist. I don't know if you guys knew that. Like, physiology is basically a paramedical course. Yes, recording will be available, And it's also live on YouTube, so it will be left on YouTube so that you can go rewatch on YouTube if you choose. Physiology is a medical course now. So what am I doing as a project manager, right? I tell you, you can actually do almost anything. But I don't see physiology as gone. I don't see physiology as wasted. No, I don't see that. In fact, my diligence with physiology is one of the things that is making me benefit from my career today. So I think I would like to go on a short break now. I need to quickly do something. So while I go on this break, I want you guys to reflect on everything that I've said so far. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So reflect, don't leave, okay? So I'm back. So as I was saying, I studied physiology, but here I am pursuing a career in tech. How did I make the switch? But I want to give, as I said, my knowledge in physiology and the fact that I spent 5 years studying that course was not a waste, because I'm seeing the I'm seeing the benefits right now. I currently work with people to do research projects. And the fact that I was a diligent student is seriously helping me and is making me some cool cash, by the way. So that's aside. But I also have interest in fitness. I've always had interest in fitness. In fact, when Lautech, I graduated from Lautech. When Lautech, it was not just Lautech, I think, it was ASU in general. When they were on strike some years back, 6-month strike, I was actually intending to transfer to another school abroad. To transfer to another school abroad to study a course in health and wellness or something like that in the University of Wisconsin. So actually I have interest, I've always had interest in fitness, and healthy living and all of that. And I was hoping to pursue a career on that path. But I also realized that it's not the entirety of who I really, really like to be or what I see myself doing. I could easily get a job, in a gym, because I exercise every day. I think I'm fit to an extent. Yes, I'm fit to an extent, and I love it. But it's not something that I want to focus on doing, right? So what brought me here? I think I was trying to talk about someone who asked the question how they can merge both. I tell you, first and foremost, don't think yet about the course you graduated with. So I've just told you about my course, and I told you about the fact that it's not useless to me right now, even though I'm not pursuing it. But I learned a lot by being diligent in that part, yes. And I'm actually reaping the benefits of my diligence because I've built the culture of diligence. I don't find it difficult to work hard, but now I've learned to work smart, and I'm making money from that work. So your school is not a waste. Whatever you're studying right now is not a waste. But as you are doing that, ensure you're able to identify your interest, because it is this interest that will really, really help you later, especially for those who are still students. By the time you graduate, see, don't join the labor market. Just don't do that. If you don't know what you are really interested in and start developing yourself in that line, remember what I said, The fact that you're interested in something doesn't make you an expert at it. The fact that you have natural ability for something or natural tendencies for a particular part does not make you an expert. You need to learn. You need to get trained. You need to get trained. I really hope my guests tomorrow talk about the importance of getting skilled. You can't just assume that you are good when you are not good. See, it's out there that there's something you used to call local champion. So sometimes I feel like you're so good at something because you're in a particular environment. Until you get out there, and you work with people who have also learned from a different environment. So that's where you can really prove that you are really a world champion, a world-class champion. So you must put in mind that whatever you're going to do, you're going to get trained in it. So if you would merge whatever you are studying to anything in tech, the common ground would be your interest. The common ground. If I had pursued physiology, I would have had to deal with people. And one reason why I even hated the fact that I could have practiced it is because what I saw in Nigeria was that people were going to be working in laboratories. I didn't want to work in laboratories. I didn't want to be working, just carrying out tests and all of that. I wanted to have direct interactions. I wanted to lead people. Leadership is very difficult, but it's easy if you are called to it. You can learn leadership, but you can be called to be a leader. So these things that I'm talking about, your purpose is actually your calling. You can actually become anything you want to be. Hope you know you can learn any skill in this life. If only you are hardworking. If you're hardworking and disciplined, you can actually learn anything you want to learn. But the difference would be calling. If you are called to something, there is always this uniqueness that comes with it because your purpose is unique. You are unique. So even if 10 people does the same thing, they can never do it in exactly the same way because there's a uniqueness they bring to it. So it has to be your calling. So for me, I felt leadership was more of a calling than just something that I could just drop aside and pursue a career in paramedical course and all of that. So I let it go for something. But my desire. My desire is to actually build a health and fitness app someday, right? That is tech coming in. So I will lead a team to build a health and fitness app, in the nearest future. And the funny thing is that if I work with one of these health, I don't know examples of health apps nowadays because I don't use them so much. But okay, for example, there is this woman, is it Life Blood or something like that? I could work within that kind of company. Why? I have a background in health science and then I'm in tech. So I could work with health tech companies without issues because I have that knowledge or that background in health and I have this interest and this career in tech. So, like I said at the beginning, your background is not a waste. So part of your background is also your education. So if you've graduated from a particular part or you are currently schooling in a particular course, it's not a waste. Even if you are already seeing that this thing, I cannot do it, but concentrate and be diligent. Be diligent in whatever you're doing because that diligence would be replicated in any other thing you now choose to do. So quickly learn the art of diligence because like I also said from the start, no matter what you're going to do, there will be challenges. But your interest and also your diligence will be what will keep you on that path. Some people have left the path that legitimately they are meant to be on because they felt it was difficult. But really, they were called to that path, but they could not give in the work. They could not put in the work. So always know your mind. You have to be able to put in the work. You have to be ready to put in the work. So I'm rounding off already. One other thing that I wanted to point out to you, apart from the fact, I think I should emphasize a bit more on vision. You have to be able to see yourself in a particular position or as a particular person a few years down the line. Please, don't just go with the mind of, oh, let me just make some money for now. Why? If you do that, if a little bit of challenge comes up, you may likely give up. Or if the money goes, for example, God forbid, you lose your job, or some people got laid off during the COVID pandemic. if you were in their shoes and you were in the right path, like right, you're on a path of purpose, you were in career in tech and all of that, and you suddenly lose your job, you could be demoralized because of that. Why? Because you really did not find a deeper meaning. And if you don't find, it's like not having roots. And if you don't have a roots, there's no way you can even have a picture for the future. So you must set upon your heart a particular picture where you see yourself to be, so that when things get tough, it is that picture that keeps you going. Right? So also know that your purpose does not only serve you. It's not about just you. So me wanting to lead people, manage people, I don't see it within the context of how can I make a lot of money from it. Yes, I have to make money. You have to make money because you need money to be able to purchase the basic things in life. But money is not the only thing. See, there are some things you don't even have to pay for, right? Money is not the only value of exchange or currency for exchange. Money is only as valuable as what you can use it to buy, right? So what if I can get that thing without even paying for it? It could be through your networks. It could be through people you've worked with and you've treated them very well. It could be through clients that you did their job perfectly well and they appreciated it so much they gave you a particular opportunity, or they opened certain doors or opened certain access to you. That access you may not have been able to purchase even with billions of dollars. So money is not the only thing. So you must ensure that you are serving people with whatever calling you're able to identify through a combination of your background, your interests, your natural tendencies. You must be able to see how all of these things can help to serve people. Because if you serve people, people will serve you back. It's like you are paying it forward. It's just the law of the universe. You are paying it forward. You are sowing a seed, it comes back to you. Always. Second to the last thing I'm going to say is, if you truly are on the right track, see, all the resources that you need part-time will come to you. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be desperate. If you're on the right path, all the resources that you need part-time will come to you. Resources, both monetary, both opportunities, but in terms of people recommending you, those things are resources, but you may not quickly know, because if you focus only on money, you feel like money is the only thing that can buy, but money cannot buy some things, actually. Money cannot buy some things, right? So I was talking the other time about how I felt inspired to pay more attention to exercising. I even felt inspired to pay more attention to what I eat. Now, why would I do this? I want to connect those little things to who I see myself to be in the future. I can't afford to break down with a serious illness, all because I refuse to take care of this body. See, this body is very important because it is the vessel you will use to accomplish purpose. So if you don't take care of your body, you don't take care of your mind, there's no way you're accomplishing anything, because you don't have the body and mind to do it, right? So all of those things are very important. I am pointing out all of these things because tomorrow we want to focus just on your tech career, how to just discover your path and how to make good money out of it, financial rewards and all of that. So, but today I want to point out all other things that are just as important that you need to pay attention to. Now, when I talk about resources that you need part-time coming to you, all because you're on the right track, it's a law of the universe as well, that once you're on a particular path that you are meant to be, with the right mindset, ready to work, diligent, and you are doing what you are naturally wired to do, resources will just flow towards you because you also have a sense of belief and confidence in yourself that you're doing what you're meant to do. See, everything called resource, I don't know whether anybody knows about the laws of attraction. Everything called resource can be attracted towards you because you are able to also give something that is deeper than just, oh, I just want to learn it so I can do it. No, it's deeper than just the skill you gained. It's as deep as who you really are. You are giving of yourself. You are sowing a seed out there. So when I say resources, I also am not saying that resources compared to others. So your friends might be making ₦1 million today. Remember, resources is also part-time, as I said, part-time, per season. There are different things you are meant to be doing part-time, per season. When I launch my book, please buy it and read it because it talks about times and seasons. There are resources that come for specific periods of your life, depending on exactly where you are or where you are located. Like motivational speakers will say, your location is dependent on your location. It's actually correct, even though I don't like using all of those kind of terms. So if you are rightly located, all the resources you need comes to you because you are rightly located, doing the things you are meant to do. There's no way it will give off. The results you are achieving will attract things to you, will attract people to you. So if your friend is, for example, making a monetary value of ₦1 million per month, and you are making just 100,000 naira, don't be too eager to jump into what your friend is doing just because of that. Wait a bit. It may be just a few months down the line that you'll be skilled enough to earn 10 times more than your friend is earning today, because it is always part-time. It is always part-time, per season. It's not based on, no, I must be a millionaire. Yes, you must be a millionaire. You would be a millionaire if you're on the right path. There's no way, it can't escape you. You will have enough money to spend. But if the money is not even directed towards the right place, it will attract more. It will attract more. You probably need to listen to a lot of people who have made money and who have sustained the money for years, and you realize that their money is actually a seed. You use money to make more money. You use money to get upskilled. You use money to expand your business, to scale your business, to scale whatever you are doing, and you make more. But if you don't even have the skills, if you don't have the knowledge, if you are not even in the right place, you may be unable to have all of these ideas, to be able to make even more. And finally, you have to have faith in God and in yourself. See, you are only as successful as you believe you can be. You can only achieve what you believe you can achieve. I always say that what the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. As long as you can conceive it in your heart and believe it, then you can achieve it. And then you need God all the way. Please, I can't ever emphasize the fact that you need God. You can't do it without God. There are some people who are doing it or trying to do it without God. But if you are going to work on a path, like I said, you can learn anything and be successful in anything. But it's going to be something meaningful, something that would serve posterity, something that would serve nations, and something that would go transgenerational. That would be something that you can leave as a legacy for your children or for people coming behind you. Then you need God. Then it has to be deeper. It has to be beyond the surface. So thank you everyone for listening today. I'm so glad that I could spend this time and everybody could stay true upon this time. I don't know if I think I may be able to take one question if it's available here. Although I have asked everyone to drop questions, earlier. But if you have a question somebody just raised their hand. Please, can you speak, Dorcas? Just one. I'm taking just one because, like I promised, I won't stay beyond 7 o'clock.
No.
Yeah, Dorcas, why?
Actually, I was not going to ask a question. I just did the clap and.
Oh, okay. It was a clap. Oh,
yeah.
Good. Thank you very much. Does anybody have a question? Just one question. Okay, someone raised their hand. Ayomide, please go ahead.
All right. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. All right. So earlier you talked about the difference between a career and a job, and you made sure to emphasize the point that a career is a combination of various things that you find interesting. So, and you also proceeded to tell your own story. So my question is, how does one kind of reconcile? Because you have, let's say you have a person who is passionate about a lot of things, who is also a student, and perhaps into fitness, perhaps wants to get into software development, and perhaps even wants to inspire people like you're doing right now, So how does one navigate and prioritize, just figure it all out?
Thank you so much for asking that question. I'm so glad you did. Let me quickly chip this in. I'm going to particularly get Toby Emmanuel to answer this question as well tomorrow. because Toby is like a multi-potentialite. Like I've known him for some years. I could tell you several things that he does. Like he could direct music because he was a music director back then in our fellowship. He could play musical instruments. He could draw with his hand, and yet he's a designer, he's a developer, a full stack developer. And I don't even know what else he's probably doing right now. I think he's now into fintech, he's now into blockchain, and he teaches people how to. So like that's like a whole range of things. For me, I was able to discover several things as well that I had interest in. You know, I had interest in health and fitness, as I said. I have interest in managing people. I also have interest in new and budding interest actually in being able to build systems using blockchain technology. I'm just progressing into that as well right now. And then I have interest in being able to coach and talk to people and get them to be on the right path and just generally get the right knowledge that they need to thrive in life. So these are several things. But do you know that a few years ago, you didn't see me talking to you this way, right? Yes, I may have spoken in a few places, but I did not deliberately come out, to put together this program. A few years even, before then, I wasn't even an IT project manager. I was just, let me just go to a particular period of my life. I think I may have been serving in a particular fellowship, in my fellowship, as a student, as a teacher. But I get a skill from just talking to people over and over again, and it's being able to explain a particular concept, right? I was teaching people again and again, and I've even had experience with teaching people in a school setting. I've had experience with that as well. So what am I trying to say? I mentioned times and seasons the other time. You must be able to understand what comes before what. Don't feel like you need to express everything all at the same time. There's a time for everything, as it says in the Holy Bible. Everything has its own season. There's a time for everything. So you are the one who decide on which areas you want to focus on first. I just talked about blockchain. I'm not yet in blockchain, but I've started getting trained in it. But I'm in the parts where I have been able to get some level of training in. I am already, executing projects in that line. So in say a year's time, I would probably be building blockchain software, the team of people as well. So, but I did not say, oh, now I want to build blockchain. Another thing is, even though I love health and fitness, and I'm already practicing it on my own, I only have a desire to build a health and fitness app or a health and fitness outfit, for people a few years down the line. Doesn't mean I'm working on something relating to that right now. The fact that I'm talking to you right now is because I believe that is one of the things I have to do right now, because it's crucial. It's crucial that everybody at this moment understand exactly what they are meant to do. No more wasting of time, especially if Nigerian schooling system is not beneficial or it's not helping students. It doesn't mean that we all have to be stuck. It doesn't mean that students need to be stuck in the same place. They need to be able to continue moving and moving ahead. So, and that's why this particular program is crucial for now, and it had to be held now. And there are several other people running similar programs now, and I'm so glad that it's happening at the moment. So you must be able to understand what should happen per time. See, it's all within you. You are the same person who is having these multiple expressions. All you have to do is be able to know which one should come at a particular time, and which one. One of the ways you can even know is you have the resources that will back that particular expression. So to be able to identify a particular expression that is meant to be expressed in a particular period of time, you begin to see resources that could back that particular expression coming towards you. Suddenly, you begin to see people around you who are speakers. For example, like me, when I started putting out programs, I've put out programs years back as a student in school, but I only did that for like a couple of years and I stopped because I knew I was meant to stop a bit and focus on other things. Now I took it up again in 2020. I held the First Purpose Series event in 2020 and I spoke to people through a podcast. But what triggered that? Something triggered, it didn't just start. is because I was surrounded with people who are coaches. I had to attend Philadelphia Toye Speakers Bootcamp. You know, I learned a lot between 2020 and 2022 to be able to put together another event, which is way better than what I even did in 2020, right? So certain resources begin to come around you. Suddenly you begin to, if you are meant to go into software, in fact, if you are meant to go into any tech skill and you're still a student, please go into it now. I have to say go into it now, especially things like software development. You may need the advantage of time to learn, so that by the time you are done with school, even before you get done with school, you get internship programs, you get into mentorship programs where people have gone ahead, mentor you. You even get jobs. If you are in tech, really, tech generally, you could most likely get freelance projects. So that's one of the ways to make money in tech, freelancing. So it'd be good for you to start learning now as a student. If you are going to go into software development, start learning now. And one of the ways you will be sure that you are meant to start learning now is that the resources will begin to come to you. You begin to see a friend or a friend of a friend who is a developer and saying that, oh, come, I'll give you the videos. Or oh, come, I'll teach you, or I'll tell you something. Or you begin to things just begin to shape up. But like I said, there's a law of attraction. If you have a desire in your heart that you've placed upon your heart, it will attract the things that you need to actualize it to you. It does, it happens. It happens. I remember when I just first understood, I understood just this year that, oh, Dayo, you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. You know, I mentioned one of the visions I have is to build systems within, sustainable systems within organizations and within nations. It came to me that you can accomplish it by learning about blockchain technology, because blockchain technology is a decentralized network. So what I want to do is to build something that everybody has access to, that's something that promotes equity and fairness. You know, everybody has equal access. Everybody, you know, can accomplish what I meant to accomplish. All I have to do is now get the knowledge. And immediately I realized that suddenly I began to see people who are into blockchain technology. It's not that they were not there before, but suddenly it seemed as if they are closer to me. And I could reach out confidently and be like, please, I need your help. Please, you have to mentor me. Now I was able to get into Binance Blockchain for Women Bootcamp. And I also applied for Women Tech Stars program. I'm waiting for their response because I got into the next stage. So fingers crossed. So you see, I was able to see all of this because I have now realized that this is the time to learn. I'm not even going to try to get a job, right? But I know I need the time to learn. So, and I'm going to dedicate that time to learn. But I'm still doing what I've been doing, maintaining it. And that's why I was telling you guys, somebody asked about burnout, stretching, being able to come up to par, come up to the level of the demands that are now laid upon you by virtue of who you are meant to be and the things you are meant to express with your life. So I hope you'll be able to understand. There are many things you can possibly do, yes, but you are the one to select which one you want to focus on at time, especially based on the resources that present themselves to you around that period of time. But you know that you have a time, the whole time of your life to fulfill everything. In fact, your purpose expands. You keep seeing more and more things that you want to do, and you keep doing. That's what makes life really interesting. That's what makes life, gives vitality to life. That's what will not make you feel bored. That's what will make you even associate with people, because the people who are doing similar things to you that you want to talk to. So you're even more social because of it. So many other things. So I don't know if you are able to answer that.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. I'm so glad you could join me this evening. Please join early tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be very wonderful. I'm sorry you may exceed an hour tomorrow because it's going to be a fireside chat with two people, Grace Omole. Grace Omole is actually a front-end developer, and she has written 2 ebooks on blockchain technology. So she's a blockchain developer. I met her at an event earlier this year, and Grace she's an intellectual, right? She's really good, and she's making money. I hope she'll be willing to talk about that tomorrow. And then Toby Emmanuel, I can't even begin to tell you about that, but just go read their bios in the design and you see what they are up to today. And tomorrow we are going to ask them some really personal questions about their career and their purpose and how they've been making a success out of it, both financial success and non-financial success. So thank you, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Same link actually, but I will send the link again, but this same link works for tomorrow as well. 6 p.m. Please don't be late, and invite your friends. Based on what you've been able to learn today, you can invite more people to benefit from this. But this will be live on YouTube, as always. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
have
much.
a nice night. Thank you, doctors. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of
Bye.
your day.